Hi mathematicians, welcome to Learn Math with Kath, and I'm Catherine. I'm here to help you on your journey to learn math. And today we're going to learn about how to simplify fractions. So with simplifying fractions, the main thing that you need to learn or know before you can simplify fractions is you need to understand how to find the greatest common factor. And once you know how to do that, then simplifying fractions is easy. So today we're not going to talk about finding the greatest common factor, but that's something that you need to know before you're able to do this. So let's get into it. Okay, let me give you an example of a fraction that needs to be simplified. And so here's a fraction, 6 over 10. And just to review, with a fraction, the number on the top is called the numerator and the number on the bottom is called the denominator. So if you look at the number, it's 6/10, and if you look at those two numbers, 6 and 10, to simplify the fractions, you have to find the greatest common factor for 6 and 10. And so when we look at it, we can see that the greatest common factor for 6 and 10 is 2. So the greatest common factor for 6 and 10 is 2. And so with that piece of information, what we can do next to simplify the fraction is we take the numerator 6 and divide it by 2. And we do the same thing with the denominator. So you have 10 and you divide that by 2. And the reason why it doesn't change the value of the fraction is if you look, 2 over 2 is essentially 1, right? You're dividing 6 over 10 by 1, which doesn't change the value of the fraction. So 6 divided by 2 is 3 in the numerator, and 10 divided by 2 is 5 in the denominator. So when we look at this fraction 3 over 5, you can see that it's in its simplest form because 3 and 5 both do not have a greatest common factor. And so that's how you simplify 6 over 10 and 3 over 5. Well, just in case you don't get it, let's try another example just to make sure you understand. So here's a fraction. Let's do 21 over 9. Now, and if you remember, this is an improper fraction, right? Because the numerator is larger than the denominator and it doesn't have a whole number in front, but you can still simplify improper fractions. So if you remember, the first step is you look at the two numbers, 21 and 9, and you have to try to figure out what the greatest common factor is. Basically, what is a number that can be divisible by both of these numbers? And then when we look at it, you can see that both of these numbers are divisible by 3. So the greatest common factor is 3. And so we figure that out. So the next step is dividing the numerator by 3 and then dividing 9 by 3. So 21 divided by 3 equals 7. And then 9 divided by 3 equals 3. So now we have 7 over 3. Now if you look, 7 over 3 is an improper fraction. And usually whenever you're trying to find an answer to a fraction, most textbooks and most teachers prefer for you to write it in as a mixed fraction. And so what we can do is we can take this even further. It's 7 over 3, okay? And then change it to a mixed fraction, what would be 2 over 1/3. And how we get that is, you can see 2 times 3 is 6 plus 1 is 7. So it's 2 and 1/3 is in its simplest form from the fraction 21 over 9. So hopefully you're able to understand how to simplify fractions. Just to review, remember you need to understand how to find the greatest common factor. And once you find the greatest common factor, you divide that number from the numerator and from the denominator. And that's how you find your answer. So hopefully I was able to help you understand how to simplify fractions. If this video was helpful for you, I hope you like this video, subscribe, and make sure to hit the notification bell. And always remember, anyone can learn math.